Right, we have 1 hour and 30 minutes for questions, and we lead with the priority question. And the first question is from Deputy Niamh Smyth, who has 30 seconds to introduce her question, after which the Minister will have 2 minutes and then a number of supplementaries.
That's perfect, Ken. We're good to go? Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So, just to ask the Minister for Arts, Heritage, Rural, Regional and Gaeltacht Affairs the status of Culture 2025, the funding arrangements for its implementation in 2017, alongside the Ireland 2016 Legacy Programme, and if she will make a statement on the matter. Thank
Minister, you have 2 minutes.
I published the draft framework policy Culture 2025 Era Gaeltacht in July this year, which was submitted to the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Arts, Heritage, Regional, Rural and Gaeltacht Affairs for input. The Culture 2025 framework policy sets out a series of high-level objectives under the headings of enrich, engage, participate, to establish government vision in relation to culture and society in Ireland. A set of key values, including the intrinsic value of culture, the right to participate in the cultural life of the nation, and the role of culture in fostering a more sustainable future in Ireland, and a series of priority measures for implementation across government and public bodies. I understand that the committee is currently preparing a report on the draft framework policy, which I will consider when received. In the meantime, I believe that it is important to continue the momentum in terms of delivery of the priorities set out in the framework policy, and to build on the positive legacy of the Ireland 2016 Centenary Programme. My department has therefore been developing a cross-government initiative to mainstream culture and creativity in the life of the nation, and to promote individual, community and national well-being. This will focus on boosting cultural provision and participation in communities, and harnessing the goodwill and engagement generated by the commemorative programme this year. It will also act as the main vehicle to take forward the priorities identified in Culture 2025. I have secured funding of €5 million in Budget 2017 to underpin this new initiative, and I intend to announce further details in the coming weeks.
Supplementary questions? Yeah, thank you, Minister. Well, firstly, can I say it is a welcomed addition, I suppose, with the €5 million that you have allocated, and I'd like to acknowledge that for Culture 2025. Can I ask the Minister if she could confirm the separate mechanism for arts funding that will conclude in 2017, and can you explain the criteria for allocating funds to artists or arts organisations and how they might apply?
Thank you. The new initiative is designed to build on the positive legacy for our arts and cultural sectors, as I said, arising from the success of the 2016 commemorations. So, in particular, I want to build on the very positive levels of engagement in our arts and culture, which was experienced, as I said, throughout the year. I have spoken of my desire to increase access and participation in the arts at a local level, because after all we recognise it was the huge amount of local events held by communities around the country which really ensured the commemorations were such a success. So it's important to me, in the context of the recent budget, to first and foremost secure increases in funding for all the key arts and cultural bodies under my remit. So the Arts Council remains the body for which artists will make applications for funding, and I was delighted to be able to give them the €5 million increase. Regarding the Culture 2025, I do not envisage any funding stream in that, for applications. That's not what I plan. So I am working on it at the minute, and it's my intention to be in a position to announce details in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Minister. Niamh Smyth.
I'm guessing, or maybe I'm trying to read your mind here perhaps, that you talked a lot there about local and getting that funding to people on the ground. So perhaps your local arts and education partnership, which I know you're very supportive of, would be something you would consider in that, if it's not going to be rolled out in the same way as funds come from the Arts Council, that it's obviously maybe more programming funding that you're thinking of, and perhaps you would consider that as part of it. So mindful of the Culture 2025 that it's only in its draft status at the moment with the Oireachtas Committee, can the Minister confirm the arrangements for the independent arm's-length governance that you've put in place for Culture 2025?
Thank you, Deputy.
Well, just to say that I will be announcing details of the new initiative next month, and I have been meeting with key cultural stakeholders over the last week or so, just to bring them up to date with what I want to do. So I was speaking to them about it. But just to be clear here, that this initiative will be anchored in boosting and valuing creativity in all its forms. And I just want to be very clear too that I fully respect the arm's length principle, and there is no interference in the funding decisions of the subsidiary bodies under the department, including the Arts Council and the Film Board. I have no input into the decisions the Arts Council make, and they're completely independent, and I absolutely respect that. And as I said, I was delighted that we could get the increase in funding for them. So hopefully they'll be able to support more organisations and more artists in the coming year. And as I said, again, I completely respect the arm's length principle.
Thank you, Minister. We now move on to the next question. Deputy Paddy Tobin, number 2.